Disrupt Education. We're here with Jake Grant from the Georgia Institute of Technology.
Yes,
and we are actually on campus today in Atlanta. This is Atlanta, right?
Live from Atlanta.
Live
Welcome
from Atlanta.
to Atlanta.
Yeah, man.
Nice
Thanks for being here, man. Yeah. Just did a tour with you. A couple of things. What got you here, man?
I didn't really have more than 2 schools when I applied to them. I was like Purdue, Wash U, pretty set on Michigan too. And my mom was, and Miss Ambrose, high school counselor at OPRF, was like, you need to apply to more schools. You need to apply to more schools. I was like, engineering. Georgia Tech has engineering.
Yeah.
I got exposed to their sports, kind of fell in love when I visited, and here I am.
Awesome. So what are you studying? What kind of engineering are you in?
I'm a mechanical engineer, second year.
Yeah. And what does that entail? What kind of things do you do in mechanical engineering?
So we do technical design, manufacturing, and writing. So I just took our sophomore level weed out class. It was a project-based class. You have to design a robot that does certain tasks against other teams. And so that was our first exposure to actually putting stuff together and seeing how it worked.
That's so awesome. I love like the competitive look of things.
Oh yeah.
And you're in a lot of other things. So what are the kind of co-curricular, if you will?
There's great ways to get involved at every school. But I was a swimmer and a water polo player in high school. Varsity did marching band. I didn't know how I was going to get involved, but when I toured, I actually met somebody who's actually on our exec with me, because I'm the treasurer of the swim club now, and she said, you should get involved. It's a great way to stay in shape, meet a lot of people. A lot of my best friends are swimmers.
Yeah.
I got involved in the Georgia Tech Ramblin' Rec Club, which is why I'm in this fancy rec club polo. But if you watch our football games on TV, there's a gold car that leads our football team onto the field. That's probably what we do most visibly, but our job is traditions, spirit, and just supporting the school and the student body and taking care of the car.
Yeah, that's awesome. So your journey from Oak Park River Forest High School to here, what was like the biggest thing that you see which was a difference in your education?
Well, obviously I'm following in the footsteps of the great Iman Shumpert, except he had a little more basketball talent than I do. But the biggest change is, that's a good question. I talked about the class before. That was very hands-on, very technical. Basically, our professor was non-existent. So it was all students that had a problem that they needed to solve on a budget, on a deadline, on time. That's what the real world is like. And that's the biggest difference. And I guess it applies to a lot of schools. I don't go to a lot of schools, but I know Georgia Tech really highly values students learning for themselves, whether it's in the classroom or co-curriculars, and they don't be afraid to fail. And at OPRF and high school, you're kind of guided through it. Your teachers are just like, all right, got to get to that next benchmark. But like in my class, I got 69th out of 70th in the prelim rounds for this competition. We did really bad. Honestly, that's the only way to put it. A week later, the big competition happens. We get 11th. We partied like we got first. Because what we did was we took where we failed and we learned how to apply the knowledge we learned into success at the when it counted.
Is that is built in though as well into the curriculum, right?
Yeah,
so
it's all curricular class.
Yeah.
That's what it was part of.
So you had an opportunity, and other teams, I'm guessing, had the opportunity to actually revamp something that. What does the number 1 or top 5 teams do?
The team that got first in the competition in the prelims totally tore down their machine and rebuilt it. So even when you succeed, there's still a chance to improve. It's not just you want to get the A. It's I want to be the very best, and that's an important skill to have instead of just getting through the day, getting the grade, making it to next week. You want to be able to say, here's what I did and here's what I got out of it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, so going into that kind of realm, that cyclical learning, and then your high school realm of where everybody's, and we've talked about this, but everybody's going for the grade and it's just a stepping stone. How would you change that? Would there be something that you would change?
Especially if you're going through the process right now, don't go for the grade. There's a holistic approach. You got to be a well-rounded person in order to succeed in life, succeed in college. I mean, granted, it's still about the grade and graduating. It's important. You don't want to let go of that. But if your mindset is right in high school, and that's I want to be the best, whether it's school, which is important, you need to get out of high school, but at swimming, band, if you're in choir or a club, stuff like that, you want to show a college that you're a holistic person, that you're going to put your best into the challenges you face. It doesn't matter if you took 7 APs a year or if you're just taking college prep. You got to put your heart and soul into what you do, and that'll be reflected when it comes time for that.
Last question, and then I'll just ask where you're going. In that realm of, because co-curriculars have built who you are. I mean, you were extremely active in high school, you're extremely active here.
Yeah.
Is there room to put that into the curriculum, do you think?
I'd say there is. I mean, granted, it was a little bit easier for me being in band, which I guess is a curricular class, but they build that in to the schedule. If you can build in things people are passionate about, whether it's working in business or whether it's working in engineering, a lot of high school kids don't get the chance to move outside of the realm of English, math, science, foreign language, gym, you know, and then they go to lunch. But I think there's definitely room for that, and we saw that. I mean, you get at that a little bit in your class, but if people can provide just more, not real world applications, but more practical applications, it's not just co-curricular, it's building in just things that students are going to see that they can say, yeah, I can see myself doing that next week, next month, next year. And not just co-curricular, just practical human skills.
So what's next for you, man?
I mean, in 5 minutes, I got to go recruit kids for the next generation of Ramblin' Rec Club. I'm the football chair. It's a fun time. But personally, I'm going to France this summer to study abroad. That'll be fun, see the world, and still keep learning. I'm writing for a football organization, football, basketball, all Georgia Tech, fun stuff. But as far as after college, I'd like to go back home, work for United, fleet planning, route management, or the engineering side of stuff. I think that's really cool. I'm going to be happy wherever I wind up, though, as long as I have like good people in my life. At the end of the day, you're going to do a lot in life, and you're going to do a lot in this world. But if you pick your good people, you're going to be happy wherever you're at.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Disruptors, we'll see you next time on Disrupt Education.